As I leave, though, I'm going to say start comment device.
Message is buzzing in a conversational, like you know when you're having a conversation with someone and they don't care, but they're like, oh yeah. That's message.
How much is 4%? This is so much smarter than Cold Grillins.
Unfortunately, Message doesn't have an economic foundation.
True.
So.
You're kidding? The Aquaformics? They're well known for their banking.
Well,
look, ants are industrious.
Yeah, but it's kind of all to serve the hive mind.
Hey, Vice.
6 gold means 6 gold spent.
Okay.
Do you know if there's any way to watch the entrance from down here?
Was there?
So Night Eye, as his name suggests, one of his abilities was to see things remotely, so he would just handle it.
He would just what?
He would just handle that.
Handle that? Okay.
So for us, there would be no way.
No, there's no like built-in enchantment or like vision tube with mirrors or whatever. No.
Okay.
But I'm gonna.
Although you should see about having one of those installed in your home fort.
On my way out, though, I'm gonna turn to you, Vice, and be like, "Nice safe house. Good job." In a snarky kind of way, and I'm leaving. I'm gonna go with Vanya.
Yeah.
If you guys leave now, you may miss the fun.
No, I gotta go get fixed. Like I'm gonna go find. I'm gonna go find something because I am.
They're concerned with your visit to the vet.
My dog got in real life. We spayed my dog like last week, so sorry.
Yeah, go get so Zotan, where do you think would be a good place for us?
Okay.
Sorry, Brian.
I'm just confused.
Honestly, I think trying to find some random abandoned building.
He's a robot. He's safe anyway.
Vanya, what are you doing?
I'm heading over to the nearest place that looks like a big enough building that has smoke to get some food.
Okay. Just give me an investigation check.
And who do I need to go find for fixing?
What's your fast actually, give me a perception check.
I'm going to be looking for food for a while.
I'll help you.
Thank you.
Do I grab some advantage on that roll?
Yeah, I really do.
So you're looking for food.
find
How
a
about
meal?
Zotan and I find a good building?
I'd go to the slums.
Yeah.
Huh?
No,
I would be searching in the
Go
slums.
investigation, yeah.
That's kind of where I'd be too.
Investigation plus 0. 14.
14? Okay, so with Colco's assistance, you're able to snag something like, hey, I'm just looking for a meal, looking for a place. Well, they don't even let you finish. They're like, Full Rat's Inn, around the corner. And they give you a vague description.
Sounds like they have a promising menu at least. It's been a while since we've had some normal food.
I've
Like
only
rats.
eaten pastries for the past few months.
Yeah.
Lots of good
I'm looking for
berries.
something beefy or meaty.
Rats will do.
Okay, so is everybody going to the Full Rats?
No, Vice and I are going to be looking for some abandoned building in the
Okay, I
slums.
suggest you establish some sort of communication with each other so you don't lose each other in this city for time and all eternity.
Like back before cell phones when we went to the other side of the store.
Okay, so
What would be a good
once,
place for us to meet back
once
up
I
after
have
we found the
information,
place?
I
So, it's as simple as, hey guys, let's meet up in 3 hours at destination.
Hey guys, we have an appointment at the inn tonight.
Yeah,
We'd like to keep.
There we go.
Say that.
With who?
Some inventor to pick up Whirly.
Yep.
He's gonna be
You can
awesome.
pick up that machine
An
there.
inventor also knows enough math to be an accountant.
And
Alright,
then-
after that, I'll meet... Oh, this place that they're going for food, is it like in the slums?
Yeah, it's in the news quarter.
Okay. After your
I mean,
meeting,
the
I'll meet
construct.
you at this food place that they're going to.
It's the
Okay.
same inn.
No,
No,
it's a
the
different
place where he's meeting with the inventor is the inn you were staying at the other night.
Oh.
Because
Yeah.
that's where he knew to send him.
We're going to a dive to eat rats, and then afterward we're gonna go to the Hilton.
And I'm,
And,
I'm
they're
telling-
going to meet you at the Full Rats after your meeting.
Yeah.
I am not going back to that inn.
We're meeting at a hotel.
That's fair.
I love this.
Considering
Okay.
I
The
stole
garden
that
inn's not
I
dagger.
hope I run into you right.
Hopefully the inn's not burned down.
Yes.
Do you guys want help?
You can come along with us.
Slash,
Okay.
do you like
Who's
want
gonna go
help
eat?
or do you want to?
Who's gonna go eat rats?
Is this a personal
Raise your
thing?
hand.
Not a personal thing, it's just we're trying
Alright,
to find
it's a team
someplace
of two.
to
Let's go.
So
I can't leave this town for a week
How come?
because I have an order that's going to take a week to make, and I need to earn the money
Oh.
within that week to pay for it.
Yes, yes.
That's fair. We'll come back in 8 months.
Is it with
for
Mr.
your
Wishbone?
The
By
two
now
of us
you
are
have
going
much better
to
stuff.
Yeah,
Does that
you
mean
wanna-
the rest of you are going
You want to
with-
have the money.
Hazel, where are you
Yeah,
going?
everyone else is like.
Hence why I want to go hunt that guy down, but
So,
I need a place to
They're
operate
going to
from.
go get food. He's going to find a tinker. They're looking for a shady place to hide, and he's going with them.
Are you gonna go back and shake down that Bard's College or whatever it is?
That's tomorrow. I wasn't shaking them down. I gave them money.
Yeah. Like 3 silvers or something.
It was 20 gold.
Okay, so you head around the corner to the Full Rats Inn. It looks like a place called the Full Rats Inn.
Oh yeah.
It's 3 stories. It's kind of dilapidated. There's a sign hanging from ropes that's sticking out on a post. One of the 2 ropes is snapped. Looks like it was chewed through by something. And it has a picture of a rat rolling on its back with a full belly.
Oh yeah.
It's actually built to human size. You would guess that that's because a lot of its business is catering to sailors that don't want to spend a lot of money on accommodation, but want to spend a lot of money on booze. So it's sealing a lot of non-halfling, non-mouse folk traffic. You come up and it's like a Friday night, but at 11 in the morning on a Wednesday. Except not Wednesday, it's 4th day. But anyway,
So
you get the
the
idea.
The people who have been drinking since last night are getting ready to leave.
Yeah, so they're
It's like
they're
busy.
heading out, and the day shift is in. Yeah, it's pretty busy.
Great.
Okay, so you step inside. There's all sorts of races and stuff there. There's
Any other minotaurs?
no, there wouldn't be any
Do
minotaurs.
they have a booster seat for message?
Boosters.
So you start coming in with message, and a mouse folk girl that's walking past with a tray full of drinks says, sorry, no insects in the building.
You have a rule specifically for insects?
You have no idea, hon. We get all sorts of stuff in here.
Well, can you wait on your building?
What if we put a hat on it?
I don't think there's a rule. I guess just don't damage anything. Message quirks her head like, what? And then listens to what you said in common and goes up the building. Like insulted the 3rd generation of her ancestors or something. Okay.
Can you say something fake in another language?
So like you're walking past, like it is like the swarthiest place. It stinks in here. I'm not gonna lie. It smells like dirty sailor. There's like some guy screaming as he's like figuring out how to yank a knife out of the back of his hand because he's been doing the knife and finger game thing and missed. Like so other guys around him are laughing his head off. He yanks it out. Another guy laughs, snaps his fingers. The wound seals. Like. It's chaotic in here. Somebody's like doing a minor fireworks show with illusions while dodging things that are getting chucked at him because people think it's funny. Like
This would definitely be the most comfortable place for a kobold. Honestly.
incidentally, you see a small cluster of brass kobolds in the corner.
None of my clues had anything to do with brass kobolds, right? Okay.
Not quite. No.
Okay.
It's more.
Well,
So-
I'm gonna walk over to them,
Okay.
and I'm gonna kind of step into their group, and I'm like, hey, what are you guys eating here? I haven't been able to find a good meal at any place here. What did the worst chef recommend to you?
Okay, give me a charisma check.
Just straight charisma?
Yeah, straight charisma.
Okay.
What did the worst
I'm always
chef
doing that.
recommend to you?
Well, yeah, the best chef is
waiter.
gonna give you human
I'm
food.
gonna walk
Great.
to the
I got
counter
9.
And I'll say,
They're also like-
as much protein as you can
You're gonna
find.
start
that
another
is
bar
what
fight.
I'm after.
They're probably
Cook,
corporate kobolds.
preferably
So I probably just
something
walked
I
up
could
to
munch
like,
on with my flat
Yeah.
teeth.
The mob.
I probably just walked up
You
to a
have
bunch
things.
of like.
I do.
Yeah.
forget
Anyway, so you walk up and
Yuppies.
there's this
And I was
this like exhausted-looking middle-aged halfling woman that's like, yeah, sure, I'll get you a big bowl of the special.
That sounds nice.
Okay. And she
I
says,
know what the special is.
she says, whenever a table opens up, just grab one, and I'll bring it over to you, and you stand out.
Minotaurs eat meat?
Yeah. They're prolific hunters.
Just not beef.
Actually, yeah, beef.
Oh,
Just
you're
not,
good. I
just
changed
not
it.
Minotaur.
Earlier I said beefy and then changed it so it'd be less offensive.
Anyway.
But I got 9.
Okay, 9.
No, they eat horses
So,
too.
They all turn and give you this kind of weird look, and then
long
they
as it's
speak
not
in.
Minotaur.
To you, seems like a weird accent in Draconic
Oh my gosh, I
for
forgot
them.
they speak. I have been in people lands for way too long.
So this is like a weird so French has a ton of dialects, and some of them sound very different to each other. So, like for example, my brother-in-law lived in France for 2 years. He tries to speak with Canadian French speakers, and he half the time can't even understand them. So they turn back and start talking to you, and it's weird, but you get the gist that they're like, who are you?
The king of the kobolds.
Can we help you?
Well, I don't see a lot of kobolds around. I was just wondering what you guys ate. I don't find normal food. I'm in Draconic this time.
Okay.
And also,
But they seem a little bit reassured when you start speaking in Draconic.
do any of you guys have like a loose account or no one? Not like a loose one. I just mean like one that's available to be hired, and to travel around. I know this is a lot of questions. Question 1 was, just to recap, question 1 was, what are you guys eating? Question 2 is, do you guys have someone that you could loan me or that I could hire for a retainer for a while?
Okay, so there's some discussion as they're trying to interpret what you're saying in Draconic too, and then one of them says, "Fish delight," I think it was called. It is not delightful, but we think it's fish.
Okay.
And then another one says, "You're asking for a banker?"
Yes. Do you have one?
No, we do not have a banker.
Do they look like corporate kobolds?
No, these look like sailors. And they're not getting the direct translation of accountant, so they're like, I think that there are banks here. We just keep our money on the ship, you know?
Do you know how many sketchy
ship. Just kidding, I really.
As soon as your eyebrows shoot out,
Just
they
kidding.
start pulling knives.
You know
Well,
you know how much sketchy people you would attract? Like talking about, yeah, we have money.
We need a banker.
Look,
Everyone,
Also, there's so much money we need and can afford.
everyone in the bar would be like,
hey.
What do you mean by loose accountant? Do you
Poor
mean
people
like
have
somebody
other people do their taxes
wash the
too,
money?
okay?
Now?
Well, thanks. I'll head back over and
well, we're gonna get mountain.
Okay.
order the dirtiest meat they have available.
So, like, as you get away, you catch little bits of like mountain kobold, like, man, they're weird, sort of a thing as you're walking. Okay, so after a little bit, table clears out. You guys grab a spot, and the mouse folk waitress girl comes out with like a bowl that she's not struggling with, but it's taking effort on her part because it's a bowl for you, and sloshes it down there. And it's some sort of like stewish gravy with vegetables of some kind and meat of some kind.
Does it smell good?
Give me a perception check.
I'm sure it doesn't.
Or con.
Or come on.
Let's see.
Monkey brains.
Iron Lance Jones. There's a whole story about
Is it a
that.
perception check?
Monkey brains?
14.
14. You think it's you've had worse, like twice.
Like twice. Like
The cigarette.
I'll go for it.
Okay.
I'll start spooning it in.
Okay.
If there's a
It
spoon.
doesn't make you sick. No, yeah, they're
I don't
good.
know why.
I mean,
the temple
It
that
doesn't
was
make you sick,
boom.
but it's not a good experience. It is filling though. It's very filling.
good. Good. I toss her a silver.
She like snatches out of the air like instinctively and looks at it and like, "Thank you, sir," and says, "Thank you very much. I'm sorry I kicked your hand out. Sorry," and then bustles away. Okay. Hazel, what are you doing?
So, I'm
Are you
sorry.
there?
Hazel has no desire to go to this. I'm actually going to. So I was gone. Did we immediate threat at the grotto cave? Or no.
It didn't seem like it was immediate, but he alluded to someone possibly watching it.
Okay.
I whispered that to him, I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
I don't know
Okay,
then.
never mind then.
I'm gonna go back to the cave and get a short rest in.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Without a trouble, you get a short rest.
Alright, if you have to come back to me, that's fine, but I'm going to do Arcane Recovery,
Okay.
and I'm going to cast Sending to the Merchant.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to say,
Freak.
The merchant.
The merchant.
Yeah, the merchant.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
I'm going to say, sorry. Hello, I have the money to pay you back for that potion. I don't know how long this windfall will last, if you'd like to swing around.
Okay, from around the corner you hear, "Good to hear, my friend!" as you see a billow of fog pours out over the water part of the grotto, and then as it retracts, the giant beetle is standing there, partially on the land, partially standing on the water. And he comes over and says, "You have money for me! Are your friends here or are they delinquent?"
They're around town.
Interesting. Perhaps I will be able to get to them tomorrow. Or yesterday? It gets confusing.
I'm sure.
You have my money?
Yeah, did he say how much it would be? He just said I'd pay later, right?
He did list you a cost at the time.
It was 30 gold?
I think so.
Okay, I'll hand him 30 gold.
Well, that's a chunk change now.
Okay. Yeah, well, at the time, it was a lot of money. Okay, so he hands it over and says, "Great. This is very wonderful. Thank you. An investment come true." And he says, "Ah, yes, I remember it like it was tomorrow." And he says, "Are you perhaps interested in any of my other wares? I've had a recent windfall. Some folk in this very place abandoned some of their glorious goods tomorrow."
I'd love to see it.
And he says, "Of course." And he walks over, and just like
I hope
before,
you see something that's yours.
you have the massive beetle. And he walks over to a particular bundle that's got like a blanket laid over the top of it.
out of like out of the box, just
And he whips the blanket off of it, and there you recognize immediately the form of the whirling dervish.
Oh my goodness.
And
You
then
did see something that's yours.
beside it,
Yeah, the robot that we're buying, remember?
the thing that you helped him figure out the math formula on.
Okay.
The swirly devil?
Okay, so the whirling dervish is there.
Bye.
And then the strength rig
You're
that was
right,
there,
you are going to
that was that they were showing off, the gnome that was picking up big rocks and stuff, is also there. And then besides that, there is a long wand that looks cracked all the way through, and there is a pale green hand that is tied down. And whenever the merchant's limbs move near it, it kind of like tries to reach out and grasp at it.
Oh, you know that.
And the merchant turns back to you. Just as a reminder, he's kind of like somewhere between a humanoid beetle and ant. And he has 2 sets of legs, one of which that he's standing on, and one that are like just off the ground, as if he could lean forward and drop onto all fours. But it's not like a centauri type build. It would be like if you had legs coming out of your sides, kind of your side / gut area, and you were to lean forward and be kind of a diagonal. And he has that weird like mixture of chitin and flesh for his fleshy tissue. He's wearing what looks like a full set of splint mail, and he has an axe shoved through one loop and a war pick through the other, and his 6 eyes are glowing a faint amber. And his mouth doesn't look like it should be able to speak common because it's very sideways chompy, but it does achieve it somehow.
That's the worst description.
What is sideways chompy?
So you know he's got like the pincers, but what's more important is he has the crushers. Have you ever seen like the crab mouth? He has a crab mouth.
Sideways chompy.
Yeah.
Do you have a few minutes so I can like look at each of these?
He says, "Oh, you wish to lay divination magics upon them? No, that is not allowed."
Is that really what you're gonna do?
Yeah. All right.
For your safety as well, things that try to divine us do not survive.
Oh, I wasn't talking
That was
about.
a threat, actually. He was like, "You can't hustle a hustler."
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about the objects.
Oh yes, I know.
Okay. How much for each of them?
He says, "Well, it is a unique opportunity cost here. These were seized from a future wherein the users did not profit so much as die anonymously in a cell. And so their things became available to those that are able to reach through certain walls into certain vaults in times that no one cares about. So, while most of the things are that we barter, the vast majority, the overwhelming majority, they would say, or you would say in your primitive tongue, your primitive. What do you call it when you do not have a tongue? Your primitive jaw?
Yeah.
Very well, in your primitive jaw.
Crunchy bits? What are we calling?
Wait, this is the crab, right?
No.
He's like the beetle man.
Yeah. And he says, so of course we are most honest in our dealings, but this is the sort of thing that is very limited, very rare. We could let it go for, say, carry the one, 2,400 silver.
Which thing is he
Silver?
referring to?
Oh.
He gestures to the strength rig.
Okay. Alright, I'll write that down.
And he says, and this is very unique. And he points at the twitching hand and he says, I would not let this go for less than 7 gold.
Give it the whole thing. It's gotta be a bad thing.
I'll
You gotta get it.
It's a monkey hand, man.
Exactly.
Make a wish.
Yeah.
It's gonna look like the paw of the monkey.
Oh, it's gonna be cursed.
And then he gestures over to the whirling dervish, and he says, now I am willing to sell this to you, but it will not be available for you till tomorrow. It has a duty to perform tonight. But I am
Whirling dervish?
says, but I will sell it to you now for, say, 175 of your gold pieces. And I will have it to you wherever you are, alive or dead, tomorrow night at 7:33 p.m.
That's cheaper
I'll write
than
that down.
That's cheaper than the
Alliance Standard Time.
That's cheaper than the strength
And,
modifier thingy.
There's
Yeah, it
one
is.
other thing.
By like 50.
The splintered wand, and he says, and this one, what do you think it's worth?
How much do I think it's worth?
Give me an Arcana check.
Both worthless.
Go.
13.
Okay, so because of its form, it's either
Greatest item ever made, or garbage.
close. It's either high quality or it's basic. It's not trash per se, but you would say, like in game terms, it's either green or purple.
Okay. And how much are those items worth?
So green items are usually in the low hundreds, purples are in the high 60,000s.
50 gold.
He says, now that is an enterprising cost to presume, one that would be what you would say a steal, as it were, and therefore it is not the price. Now, what it is worth, though, is worth 1,000 human breaths, or more specifically, in the local currency, of course, say precisely 172 gold.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
Of course, the price is affected by your appraisal.
say I was interested in buying everything. Could I pay you later?
No, not this time.
Okay.
You see, there's too many options for us not to have it next time.
Alright, I'm definitely taking the hand. So that's 7 gold.
7 gold. He extends a hand out.
He
And
takes it in the green hand. The green hand with his hand.
I can't afford the one that costs 2,000 silver.
Do you hand the 7 gold?
Yeah.
When you start to reach out to him, he kind of like mimics the can. He says, sorry, that is a hand joke where I come from. Well, no, it's not. No one jokes where I come from. But it is a hand joke from where that comes from.
He bounces through different realities. He heard this.
How much was the dervish again?
The whirling dervish was 170. Well, yeah, it was 170 gold.
Alright.
No,
And-
no, the whirling dervish.
Yeah, the Dervish was 175.
Yeah, you're
it was
right,
like
you're right.
240 or whatever for the other thing.
Yeah, this is the fault of the player. I thought I would be able to pay for everything later, so I didn't retain the prices.
Oh, that's fine.
I only have like 131 gold. What can I buy for that?
I mean, I clearly planned all of this in advance.
The only other thing you can buy is the wand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, you're just shy of the one. It was
Okay.
132.
All right. I guess the hand is the only thing I can buy then.
Okay.
All right.
Unless you don't buy the hand, you can buy the one.
You could trade him something that you have or will have in the future.
No, because there are too
Different
many.
deal, like
There are
trade
too
your
many
leg,
options for there not to be a future.
trade your magical skill to
Hey,
it.
Ready to
Hey,
pull out gold
this
to
is
pay
a
for
very
something.
esoteric encounter. Barter if you want.
Do the little mermaid and trade your magic to him, and then
Your-
restart with a new class.
Trade your voice.
Nothing
It
with
won't
verbal
cost
components.
much. Just your voice.
Becomes the mute monk.
Your future self just purchased something.
I'm
Thank
intending
you.
to bring over
Fetal
the
possibilities.
Pathfinder feats for casting spells without semantic or verbal. But you have to spend a spell slot higher to cast a spell.
I'm going to hold out the wand of jumping
Mm-hmm.
and 75 gold.
A wand of vertical acceleration. Interesting.
In exchange for that wand.
No. In exchange for that wand plus 55 gold. No, 60 gold, and I will accept the deal.
Deal.
Very well.
Okay. 65.
Mhm.
And
To get the wand of quantum entanglement.
The wand of like
He
carelessness.
he reaches over to grab the wand, and then he like hesitates.
Room Sarah.
And then he inverts it, hands it over to you. And then he waits till you hold it firmly, and then he releases.
Okay.
Does like light shine down? No.
No,
Did the wand choose her?
he says, "This is the wand of inanimate devastation. You must be careful with it. It seeks to destroy.
I nod very seriously.
If you hold any inanimate objects dear, be mindful of how you use it."
I'm gonna set it on the ground.
Destroys the earth.
What? I
And
was like, achievement.
I'm gonna say, well, that I guess we're nearing the end of our lost words. I do have one last question.
Of course. What can I offer you?
I'm intrigued by the whole reaching through different times and
So many are.
spaces.
So many die.
Do you have any knowledge you can impart on that? I can pay for it
Of course I do.
now or later.
Can you afford it though? Could you ever afford it? That is the question. What is it you wish to know?
Anything you think would be useful?
How much gold do you have on you?
I have 63 gold pieces and 33 silver pieces.
63 gold pieces.
10 penny. 10 penny.
Persuasion check.
Hazel Hentenny.
I get advantage to buying stuff.
No, you do not get
Should have just bought stuff.
Dude, I can't wait for you to roll a new character for next time.
13.
13. Okay. He says, "Give me 28 of your golden pieces, as you would call them."
Okay.
I'll take all of your ribs.
Now,
Hey, you know, maybe that was what I was looking for.
the thing for you to understand is that time is not as you see it. There is not a yesterday, a tomorrow, and a today. It's all a tapestry that's currently being woven. You are a tapestry. You see, you are simultaneously alive, dead, being born, graduating with honors, slipping out in the night, being disciplined by your mother, and an infinite other, actually not infinite. There's only so many possible combinations, but it's a lot of different things that are you all right now. So when I say that there may not be a tomorrow for us, be very scared, because I see the tapestry. And right now, the tapestry may not be being made for much longer. Things are really crazy right now. Bad, bad, bad stuff on the horizon.
I just have the worst idea. I just have the worst idea.
Okay.
While he's saying this, can I use detect once again?
Okay.
Oh my
What kind of
gosh.
magic is that?
You're gonna have an intelligence of 1 in like 3 seconds.
What kind of magic is
And
that?
now the tapestry
Are you
is done.
using-
Evasion.
Are you using any components on this? Okay. Well then, give me a second.
Oh, I'm so excited.
His prophecy
When
immediately
you
came
said-
true.
Let me double check the
Real though.
Luke, yeah.
When you said you're just a tapestry, I so expect you to be like, always have been.
Curse you, Michael! Not that I would have remembered, but I still want to use that at some point.
Yeah,
That
no.
this is the most candid discussion we've ever had with like a greater being,
A Time Lord.
like this.
Okay.
I've come to.
Okay. So, no components, right?
No components.
Okay. You kick on Detect
Mr. Dormammu
Thoughts,
says, "We
and
already
you see
bargained. We
yourself
lost."
from his perspective. You are somehow simultaneously in each facet of his 6 billion faceted eyes. He is seeing he is seeing 6 billion options of your current existence. Ones where you were born later, ones where you're older, ones where you're dead, ones where you were an evil overlord that is currently being overthrown by countless heroes, like one where you're not a halfling. In fact, many where you're not a halfling. Like, he is seeing everything at once. Give me an intelligence saving throw.
I
One where you
expected
actually
that.
got attacked by an eagle instead of pretending to.
I'm gonna be honest, that's only one future. In all of the others, you faked it.
One where you didn't fake
Or
it,
died
you
the day
died.
before.
And that one, you planned on it. You were so surprised that it actually happened.
I'm not kidding. I rolled natural 19.
Okay,
so
natural
27.
19. 27? Okay, you save. Exactly. Okay. Let me figure out some consequences here.
Gain the level.
You can come back to me if you need to.
You
No.
obtain a level. You see.
I mean, let's be real. She was about
You gain a level
about
up.
to
You
have
gain
her
a
brain
level of warlock.
eviscerated.
You gain a level of warlock. Enjoy your
Roll me a
patron
percentile.
insight.
And I'm gonna be honest, there are some broad levels of consequences depending upon what you roll.
No worries. If I wasn't prepared for that, I wouldn't have messaged you.
Into the rain.
There's always-
78.
There's always a friend.
Jeez. Okay. Okay, so you immediately gain 3 levels of exhaustion.
Oh man, I thought I was gonna end
No,
there.
we're not done there. That was happening regardless. So that was with the save. Without the save, you take 6 and die.
Sorry, what was that?
With the save, you get 3 levels of exhaustion. Without the save, you would have taken 6 and died.
Okay.
And
You're not dead. Good job.
You had a 5%, 10% chance of surviving.
I think it was
Okay.
less than that, but it's fine.
And you see, as he's talking about this, because you did this while he was explaining everything to you. So there's going to be a flash of, ooh. Let me present out one more time.
Ooh.
There's degrees of very bad.
8 and 2 zeros.
8.
So that
800.
That's 8.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
weird.
That's the very low scale of very bad, but it's still
That's
very
2
bad.
levels. You're a warrior.
That's
Firefighter.
That's Corn's number.
It is cool. Oof. Don't give me ideas. Lose all of your magic ability, gain 5 levels. No, I'm just kidding.
5 levels
God.
of
You're a level
berserker.
10
Force for
fighter.
these months.
No, barbarian.
Barbarian.
Okay.
You bulk up like nobody other.
Okay.
For the strength of
So when he's describing very, very, very bad, you're going to drop the cheery music. We need something creepy.
I mean, that's fit the player's attitude really
Okay.
well doing this.
So
I don't know if I have creepy.
at least
Just sad. 'Cause
something.
She's dying.
When he's talking about the very, very bad, there are...
This is what the merchant plays as he kills people with his brain.
Yeah, this is what he's hearing.
Better.
That's better.
There is a reality though, where that happy music applies.
Yeah, that was supposed to be Spooky Castle, that last one.
Okay. So you're seeing, like, he's not just seeing the current possible versions of you. It's like you're looking at a tapestry that's actively being woven, and then you look to the side where it's coming from. You don't see it You don't see it actually put together, but you do see the loose pattern of what it could be. Because of the where the colors of the different strands are and stuff like that. You don't see it exact, but you get a hazy image. Mm-hmm. And as he does this with you looking towards your futures, you see that they seem, a lot of them, to come to one of 5 different similar things. Like, a lot of them. Like 80% of them. One, you see a flash of a tower over a lake in some place that seems very cold, and you see a human man dressed in nice robes, but not like he's trying to show off, just like he's dressed well, holding a sword with a loose white light drifting off of it, looking down at something with a tiefling woman standing to his left with blue skin and 2 sets of horns in full plate, holding a polearm warhammer across her thighs, and he looks down and says, "This time," as he looks up into camera, "it will work." And then that cuts out. Then you see the same place, but you see it from above to the point where the tower, you don't even see it because you're looking straight down on it. And it feels odd to you, but it occurs to you that this place looks like a scar in the land, if you will. And you feel something deep and powerful beneath it, and it's kind of faint and vague. And then it stirs as if like it's coming awake or something, and then it seems to get frustrated and annoyed, and the earth begins to shake. And then there's like this moment like whatever this is wakes up, and then there's a moment of hesitation, and then everything's gone. And then there's another one where you see a man that you know he looks like a man, and you know he's trying to be a man, but he is not a man. You don't know what he is, but he is not a man. By any definition, that thing is not a person. Even. It is something that is not, but is trying to be. And it's carrying a set of pipes, and it's walking across a beach with a shore with black water lapping up against it, and the camera kind of swoops down on him and pulls up behind him. You see very pale skin, sandy brownish blonde hair, kind of a wimpy build, dressed a little bit flamboyantly, carrying a set of pipes. The camera drops in, swings up behind him, and you look up to see a hovering orb that looks like it's probably a few miles across, that is pulsing and vibrating with something. Actually, no, it is pulsing and vibrating with something that is very recognizably similar to the event that you had where you had to mess with the tuning fork, if that sounds familiar to you. And you look out and you see a sea of undead walking across the water towards him in serried ranks of well-dressed warriors with burnished, glowing weapons, flowing capes, like noble bearing, not your typical skeletal horde image, walking towards this being with a sense of, we're doomed, but we're here anyway. Then there's another one. And this one is, you look down on an island that you're not familiar with, and you look down on a beautiful cathedral there. And then you see cracks begin to spill out from underneath the cathedral. And they spill out across the street, and then the cathedral falls down and down and down. And you hear an organ playing in the distance, and it's the most beautiful music you've ever heard, and then it cuts abruptly. And it feels like a part of your soul is cut away. And then you see a pillar of fire shoot up from the pit within you, and you know that something's coming, and it ain't good. And then the last one. The last one is weirdly familiar. The others have seemed strange and esoteric. But this isn't that. This is you looking into the face of your professor. As she says, I'm sorry, but I can't have you out there. And then pushes a force bolt through your face.
That one's tomorrow.
In the broad sense of the phrase, yes.
The actual fetch.
Not only is it tomorrow, but it was also yesterday.
It's always.
Okay, so
Tapestry.
you come out of this, you're on the ground, you're exhausted. You look up, and he looks down on you with a look of pity, as best you can tell in his 6 segmented eyes. And he says, oh, I'm so sorry, you shouldn't have done that. And then he says, that changes a lot. And then above and behind him, you see the curtain stir on the little carriage thing on top. And you see a flap of beautiful white, pinkish butterfly wings as she descends. And then she says, now, that won't do. Some beings are not meant to see, and there are consequences to that.
Just look at her.
So, the question is, what should I do with you? And then she sits there looking for an answer.
Okay, I'm just reading what exhaustion does in case that affects anything.
It probably does.
Has anybody else got CG vibes?
Well, whatever you do, it doesn't look like you kill me.
Oh.
Oh, my dear, you see, it's always changing. If you to look again, it would look quite different now.
Yes.
And then she turns and says, Merchant, you should be more careful next time. And he says, I'm sorry. I just get so excited about the weave. And then she says, I know. But consequences. So, what do I do with you?
That's not happening.
Yeah, her movement's like cut in half.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Oh, okay, that's soon.
The only thing I can do.
Oh, yep. Speed halved.
The only thing I can do is apologize for my trespass and beg for my life.
Begging isn't enough, I'm afraid. You see, there has to be consequences. And then she reaches in with one of her lower arms to a pouch and pulls out what looks like a small wisp of spider silk. And then she reaches out and spreads it into what looks nothing more like a snowflake made out of spider silk, and then puts it on your forehead.
I don't try to resist.
She says, now, remind your friends to pay their debts and leave. Okay. Okay. So you stumble out.
Yeah, I jump and
There's not good.
That's when you grow bug limbs.
Dude, if you died there, we actually probably never would have found you because you didn't tell us anything at all about it. There's no clues or hints that you went there.
Just find her bleeding from the eyes,
I
the
mean-
nose, like everything on her
I think
face.
they just would have taken everything. She just was it ever her?
This was like a Dark Souls boss.
You couldn't even fight it.
Honestly, I just stumbled to the nearest alleyway, and honestly, it was like first
And full rats in.
to cast it and identify on herself.
Okay. So you start casting Identify on yourself, and then you decide, no, people don't divine us.
Say that one more time.
You start casting Identify on yourself, and then it occurs to you, people don't divine us.
Push through. Do it.
You want to try and force it?
Nope.
Okay. And by the way, that thought felt very alien, but it did not feel like someone whispering into your head. This was a conclusion that you came to, but it felt like an alien conclusion.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, like it didn't feel. I know what you mean. Like
Yeah. Yeah. So no one's whispering to you, but you came to that conclusion. So. Okay.
Alright.
Anything else?
The nearest inn, and I go.
That's the full rat's in.
Oh yeah!
Maybe cut away from here.
Okay. We're almost out of time. In fact, we're pretty much out of time.
No, that's okay then. I just try to, act normal and pay for a room.
Okay, so you guys are sitting there enjoying the special, which, by the way, 3 copper from each of you for.
Wait, I'm not a bug monster, am I? Am I still happy?
You don't appear any different.
Okay.
To yourself.
So Hazel stumbles in. She doesn't look any different, except she is utterly and obviously exhausted.
Must have cast too many spells.
I just know.
Hey! Have some of this spider soup.
Yeah, it's
And
great.
I just kind of wave my hand and go to the countertop to pay for a room.
Okay.
I'm later. Sorry.
Without even really realizing it, you find that you also ask for food, and you put over the money necessary for food as well.
She can actually
Subtract
said
the
she tried
silver and
spider
3
soup
copper.
later. She
Yeah,
promised.
It's later now.
Can we get some of this to go?
The waitress girl that you guys gave the generous tip to is kind of orbiting you, and she, not obviously, but making sure that she checks in on you. She's, oh yeah, whatever you want, you can get that to go.
Oh.
Handful. I ate a whole soup.
It was a lot of soup.
It was a lot of soup.
Okay. Anything else from anybody?
I'm gone, by the way. I'm
Can
not
we
here.
do our thing?
Okay.
Yeah,
Try and keep it under 5
you're
minutes, but yeah, go.
We're just looking for a place
You're
to
at this.
Okay,
Call.
yes, give me an investigation.
call base.
No, I went off my own, by the way.
I assume one of you is assisting the other,
Guidance. Yeah.
and you're looking for
So,
somebody that can fix
You want me to roll?
Okay, go ahead and
We
give
can
me an
we
investigation.
can do that later.
I'd like to believe this soup is made from large size
Unless your
spiders.
investigation
Fish
is
eyes.
Okay.
Spider
I only
eyes.
get +1.
Well, I mean,
I
we're
get
recording.
+6 on my
Go ahead and give me an investigation.
You get what?
+6.
Soup.
I don't
You do
think
it.
anybody right
I
now.
should do it.
I'm ready to
With
go.
it- with advantage or guidance?
Yeah.
Advantage? Okay.
Both.
Very. It's hard.
Because I give you guidance.
Okay.
16.
16? Okay, so without too much difficulty, you're able to find someone that directs you to a tinker that could be able to repair your leg. So just to keep it short, unless
I
you
never
want to
want
get
to die, but it's always.
he says he can fix you up for
It's a pretty dramatic ending.
Oh, man. In fact, that's why I kind of want to act around him anyway. It's just, yeah,
like
just,
strictly business.
yeah, I was like, I did a lot today. I just really just want to get it fixed up now.
You know, this was really uncommon until a few months ago. Then all the Warforged mercs showed up. Now I'm doing it like every other week. I swear. This one guy was, this one Warforged stopped by a little while ago. Said his buddy was like chucked at another one of his buddies or something. It's crazy. Anyway,
And then I act
it's
like,
kind of like the barber talking to you while they're cutting your hair, sort of
I'm
thing.
kind of doing like fake laughing.
Yeah, that's how it always goes, isn't it, my man? Ooh.
Seems like the Warforged in this town kind of get rough.
Yeah. I'd
We
say
rolled
so.
a 25 investigation.
25 investigation. So you guys find a place that you feel confident is not going to be messed with, and you feel could be made into a nice, safe house, should you be able to find a way to make sure that nobody comes back there. But it should serve you for at least a few days.
Sweet.
Vanya, you want to do anything else to wrap up?
No, soup sounds good. And I just need a long rest. And I want to mess with the.
I'm going to be honest, with your insight, it's pretty obviously perplexing that she's that tired when like 2 minutes ago she was fine.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep a close eye on her.
Would've
Maybe
been,
I
like,
might
more than
even
an
sleep
hour.
in the room that she says to sleep in. Just lean against the wall.
Okay. Okay, so you're just kind of being door guard?
Yeah, I'll sleep against the door.
Okay.
I'm heavy enough. It should do some good.
You hear a pretty... I think you would make this connection. You're smart. You hear a reassuring... out of the door as the Vanya weight settles against it.
The clunk of like the weapon.
This
Yeah.
flavor is
The
very
familiar
cherry.
sound of unlimbered javelins and greatsword. Remy, anything else to
So
close
it's
up?
on the wood floor.
You came with Mason, right?
Yeah.
This is where we're gonna stay?
Yes.
Okay.
How much silver does
You
it cost to
realize-
stay the night? One.
Let me put it this way
I'm
to
just-
you.
I'm just not very used to roughing it like this.
You know those people that attacked us when we first got to town?
Like the people that I've always met who live it like this typically get caught and then things terrible happen to them.
The kids.
We'll have ways to protect ourselves. But you know those people that attacked us when we first came to town?
Yeah.
That same group killed one of my friends.
What?
Killed one of my friends, as I said, and was also the people being mentioned in the message at where we just were.
So no public housing.
Yeah. Especially that inn where we were first staying. Because I pull out the dagger. You see this?
It's really nice.
Yes. I stole it
Oh, right.
from one of the members of that said cult.
Okay.
Hey, adorable Remy.
Are they gonna
I'm
want
a
that?
thief.
They probably will. It is probably a high-ranking member. At least they don't have it to use against us.
Okay. Oh, my mom would be pissed. I'm gonna go find a corner and kind of set up my little area.
It's okay, Remy. So I've lived a lot of my life. On the run, down low. Nobody knows where you are.
You know, I expected it to be kind of tough to leave, but I didn't expect so many things. Oh,
I mean, you've seen me. You really think by being with somebody like me is gonna be good?
well,
How often do you see people like me?
you're literally the first.
Exactly.
Mostly.
Mostly?
Yeah. Mostly.
And with that, with one closing moment, where Hazel settles into her bed and reaches for the covers, but they don't pull across her. And then she realizes, oh wait, I don't have an arm there, as she reaches over and pulls the sheets over. And we'll end there. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us. Everybody say goodnight. We're going to have more streams coming up. I have one up next Friday. We're going to try and have one stream up every Friday. And we'll be recording again in a couple of weeks here. So thank you so much.
Should be recording Tuesday.
Yes, that's true. And we're going to be having...
Phasmophobia.
well, the timing's off because this is the last section.
Oh,
so
you're right. Past tense. Phasmophobia.
maybe I shouldn't even say goodbye because we're recording. Anyway, thanks so much. Have a good night.